La consulta del doctor Escarabajo.
La consulta del doctor Escarabajo, dígame.
La consulta del doctor Escarabajo.
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 I've been through the ringer, I've been through the mill.
Hi Charlie, thank you for taking the time to answer Histéricas Grabaciones questions. First of all, how are you doing?
Well, I'm doing great, thanks. It's a pleasure speaking with you. Thanks very much for having me on the program.
Right now, I am frayed and tattered.
Born in Memphis and deeply connected to cities like New Orleans, your musical journey has been shaped by blues, jazz, and R&B traditions. Looking back, are you satisfied with your musical career so far?
Well, I was very, very lucky to have been born in Memphis, Tennessee, and to have grown up in the family I did, and surrounded by the people I was, playing with the musicians I played with, and also very lucky to have had years in New Orleans, hanging out with those guys and listening and learning. So, I mean, my satisfaction probably comes more from trying to absorb what I'm hearing around me and incorporate it into what I'm doing than anything else. So those influences shaped me, and I feel really fortunate to have gotten all of that kind of firsthand.
I've got my fingers crossed, hoping that you'll always be around.
Although things seems to be recovering now, the last few years have been difficult for the live music industry. What has the pandemic given you, and what has it taken away from you as an artist?
Man, as far as professional music, it's just been sort of one gut punch after the next, where do you start? You could start with music television, with MTV. You could start with CDs instead of vinyl. I don't know. Where do you start? Where do you stop? Certainly the pandemic, pretty much every significant piece of news that's happened in my entire adult life has been, in terms of the music industry, every piece of news has been bad news. Nothing has gotten better in the music business. Music, of course, is still alive and well, and living in San Diego. No, but the music business, goodness gracious, there's not really a business there anymore. The pandemic was a massive nail in the coffin. Not to be too depressed about it, but it was really a dreadful time for the music business and for a lot of people in creative industries, people who make films and play on film soundtracks. It was a terrible time for the performing arts. A, because nobody was going to concerts and dance recitals and shows and stuff anymore because they couldn't. B, because they were finding alternatives. I won't name any names, but there are networks which have absorbed that interest, and people primarily use those now. They stay home and they watch paid television instead of going out to concerts. So the pandemic was terrible in that way, really terrible. And of course, obviously, I lost friends, my wife lost family members. It was a terrible time, personally. Musically, I think it forced us, I and the musicians I know and have spoken with about it, to kind of retreat into ourselves and really examine what we were doing and why, what we weren't doing well. You know, you had time suddenly to fix things, to plug the gaps and learn things you'd always wanted to learn and listen to things that you'd, hadn't had time to really pay attention to seriously, diligently before. So it was a creative time in that sense. You had lots of time to write, you had lots of time to practice, but it was a terrible time otherwise, obviously, as we all know.
It's awful hard for me. Look around myself and see much of anything that's really worth a damn.
Your music blends jazz, blues, R&B, and popular music in a very distinct way, in such an eclectic musical era. How would you define the times we are living in?
Yeah, my music is a blend. That's not really intentional. It's just kind of the way it works out, because I had all these profound influences around me, and so I learned to play the way the people around me were playing, the people I admired were playing, and I guess my taste and my upbringing and so on. But now, everyone has access to everything. Everyone can hear everything instantly. Anyone who's diligent and self-motivated can, has the ability to selectively transcribe all of the great music, that we have on record, and anything that's being done now, they've got it in their hip pocket. They've got it on their phone anytime they want. So that's incredible if you're a music student. And there's some people who are miles ahead of where I was at their age, for that very reason. I assume also because, they're hardworking and they got great ears and they practice a lot. But they have access to everything. There's nothing that they haven't heard or aren't able to hear. At the same time, things kind of lose their meaning. I mean, I sound the way I do, partly because I'm from Memphis, Tennessee, and because of when I was born, and the people I grew up around, where they were from. I've played with a lot of African-American musicians from the southeastern United States from the second half of the 20th century, and that has a really specific set of features. And now everything is everything. Everyone plays the way they've decided to play. And so it doesn't have as much resonance, at least for me. It's nice when people, can play burning licks on the tenor sax and everything. But it doesn't necessarily have as much meaning because of the non-musical elements. Do you know? Maybe this is hard to translate. It's hard to even say in my native language, but the reasons people play what they play seem to be missing. You don't get as much of a thumbprint or somebody's DNA from their playing in the way that when someone has a regional accent in their speech or looks or dresses a certain way, you know things about that person. And it used to be you knew things about them from their playing. And I think now you know less about them from their playing. It's everybody plays everything.
But I think I will.
Throughout your career, you've worked with legendary artists like Albert King and performed for years in iconic places such as Beale Street. What have these experiences meant for your development as a musician?
Those experiences, playing with other musicians, playing with my friend and one of my musical mentors, Fred Ford, said, always play with people who are better than you are, because otherwise you get nowhere, and it means everything. It means everything. Sitting around and deciding what you want to practice and practicing it, or learning to sing or to write a certain way because you've decided to do that, that's fine, and you have to do that. But also, serendipity takes a hand, and you get exposed to things unintentionally that have a profound effect on you and that have real meaning in your life. And I think being around other musicians and hearing other people's ideas, other people's style of playing, the way other people handle a certain chord change or sing a certain kind of song, or what songs they pick to sing, what they do with them that's different to the way other people do. I mean, there's no substitute for that. The influence of other musicians is music. That's what it is. If you had to rely just on yourself, it would be extremely boring, as well as just kind of sterile and a bit of a dead end. Other musicians, especially great ones that you admire, it's everything. That's the whole thing. That's more important than anything you can do, is listening to those other people. That's where music comes from.
You have also built a strong career as a songwriter, with critically acclaimed albums and awards like the USA Songwriting Competition. What can listeners expect from your original music?
Well, I mean, I'm really into language. I'm really, it's certainly not, the lyrics aren't the only thing in a song, but by any means, but they're a very important thing to me. So I think probably, not having a robust understanding of English would make my music probably less rewarding for people, less interesting. But musically, I think it is, as you've said, a combination of a lot of the influences that I was surrounded by and that shaped me. I hope that I'm a good kind of steward, a good caretaker of that culture and that musical tradition, and I hope that people will hear that kind of resonating in my music and in my songwriting, and maybe take it a little further or in an unexpected direction.
It sure ain't what we do best. I remember the fine time. I wonder if...
In addition to performing, you are also an arranger and a teacher at institutions such as the Guildhall School of Music in London. How does this teaching influence your way of understanding and creating music?
Oh man, I think teaching something is the ultimate test you can take to find out whether you actually understand something. Because when you start having to explain it to somebody and you start having to answer questions about it, then you realize, do I know what I'm talking about? Can I answer this kid? What did he just say? It really makes you break things down and look very closely and carefully at your craft and at your theory and what it is that you know and what it is that you don't. So it's very good in that way. Teaching it's a big responsibility, and it's also very time consuming and very exhausting in terms of energy and travel to some extent. So when you're doing that, you can't be doing something else. You can't be off on tour if you're teaching regular classes. So it's tricky teaching long term, but I find it very rewarding, and I always learn myself from doing it.
I can't believe in there.
You have collaborated with many artists and worked across a wide range of projects, from recordings to orchestras and classical ensembles. What does this artistic diversity bring to you?
Yeah, diversity. It's sort of it's a common theme through a lot of these questions, and these are great questions. I think it's just very important to me, and it's very enlightening. To have something that works very well for you within the context of one set of musicians playing a certain type of music, and then you go to another context, and it doesn't work at all. You find that what you're doing doesn't make sense anymore in that context, and it doesn't apply. I think it's kind of like if music is a common language, there are lots of different dialects, and so there's a way. If I can tell a joke that's funny in the United States and not funny in the UK, and I can tell a joke that's funny in the UK and not in the United States, just because of cultural references, just because of the kind of way the language falls and the melody of it, and because of word choices, because of all sorts of things, because of their different cultures, even though they're the same language. And music is like that too. You have cultures within music that produce different types of music, and you learn an awful lot when you have to swap in between those. If you spend your whole life just in one musical culture, your knowledge of that culture is very, very deep, but it kind of imprisons you a little bit too. And so trying to work with other artists in other disciplines, you learn more about where you're from and who you are, but you expand. You get to grow in unexpected ways, and I just find it delightful just to. It's like, what food do you not want to eat? Well, if it's delicious, then all sorts, keep them coming. So I feel the same about music. I enjoy music I'm not familiar with as much or more than I enjoy music I am familiar with, and I love the challenge of it, and it's just fun. It's just interesting and fun.
You treat me like you owe me money. Are you thinking it's time for...
And now, a classic question in any interview. What are your future plans? Any new albums, concerts, or collaborations coming up?
Oh, all sorts of concerts coming up, the usual stuff. A bit more international work coming up this summer, this autumn, and into next year. I'm in France, I'm in Germany, I've got some stuff in the US. As far as projects, I still am I'm about to do some recording with the guys who are playing with me on this festival. Dave Wilkinson on guitar and Casper St. Charles on drums. We're going to do some trio stuff, and I'm really excited about that because I've played with these guys for years, but I've never recorded anything with them. So it's about time, and it's a really good trio. I mean, they're great musicians, and it's great to work with them, but the three of us function really, really well as a band together. And we have a lot of fun. I do anyway. They may hate me, but I have a good time. No, they don't hate me. I hope they don't hate me. Don't hate me, fellas. But it's about time we made a record, so we're going to do that. So I guess that's the next thing that I'm working on. I can't wait to hear it myself, and hope you guys will like it too.
Thank you very much for your time. We hope to meet again for another interview or at one of your concerts.
Well, it's my pleasure. Thank you for your time, and it'd be lovely to do another interview sometime. See if I've learned anything new to add. I doubt it, but thanks for having me on. It's nice talking to you.
All I'm trying to say, you know how it used to feel.
Hi, everybody. It's Charlie Wood here, just sending a big hello to all my friends and fans and listeners at Histéricas Grabaciones. If any of you guys are in Segovia, I hope you'll come along to the Afro Blue Festival. I'm going to be playing there with my trio on the 6th of June this year. Afro Blue in Segovia. Hope to see you there. I'm on all the usual social media channels, Facebook, Instagram, yada, yada. My website is www.charliewood.us. And my new record is called Your Love Is My Home. It's on Stunt Records out of Denmark, but you can find it wherever you get your music. I hope you'll have a listen, and I hope you like what you hear.
Baby girl.